Reason we're all here, Mr. Richard Smith, would you just mind sharing your journey, your story, your vision with all of us, please?
I'd be glad to. Eric, thank you so much for your presentation. You're a powerhouse. You rocked through it. If anybody doesn't sign up after you get done presenting it, they must have some serious issues with themselves, because I just love the way you put the very matter-of-fact way that you can go about making money here. A couple of things that are the magic bullets of the Tranzact Card ecosystem is, number one, the customer is going to love you. There's not going to be anybody coming and running away from you at the doctor's office or at the grocery store. In fact, part of the reason I did this is I want all of you to be able to have this type of an experience. And let me just paint a picture for you with my words. So you got this aunt or this lady that everybody in the neighborhood calls her the aunt, and she's just barely old enough. She's an empty nester. Her and her husband have worked their entire lives doing whatever they did to just maintain and raise their family. And you go over and you give them the green card and make them a Tranzact Card member, and you forget about her, and she's not on your radar. You've got a business to build. You're building it hard and fast. And one day you end up at the grocery store. You're trying to pick out a loaf of bread. And she comes around the corner and sees you picking a loaf of bread. And instead of turning around and trying to sneak away and make sure that you don't see them because they don't want you to sell them another lotion, potion, powder, or pill, they leave their cart behind and they run up and give you a great big bear hug. And with misty eye in her tears in her eyes, she tells you, that green card has changed my life. And you're like, oh, that's right, you're a member. And she says, yep, not only are we a member, but we had the best Christmas for our grandbabies we've ever had last year. And 2 weeks ago, we just got off a 7-day cruise. My husband and I, our bucket list, one of it was to go on a cruise. We never thought we could. We were living on fixed income. But because we've been swiping the card, the Tranzact Card, and earning Z-Bucks, we were able to go on a cruise for the first time in our entire life. It changed our life. We have hope again, and thank you. And they give you a big hug and they grab their cart and go away. I want everybody on this call to be able to have an experience somewhat like that. That is why Tranzact Card was built. It's a social impact enterprise. Peter and I have decided to put all of it in trust. And you ask yourself, okay, what do you get out of it? Well, we're going to make real good money ourselves. But at the end of the day, we had to make sure that the banking institutions that we're competing against, and once we bring on as many card members as we believe we can because of the efforts of you guys, our digital branch offices, I'll tell you this, we're going to be up to be bought. And we didn't want to even have that be a temptation for us. So we've structured this in a manner in which the ownership is in trust in the benefit of the members, and it cannot and will not be sold to any other banking institution. And that's really big for your digital branch offices, because your opportunity is affixed and your franchise will be willable to your posterity. And those two reasons are really why I'm here. And the compensation plan is so good, not because I'm a magic man. It's so good because the power of transactions versus the power of purchases is remarkable. And you're going, what do you mean? Isn't transactions actually purchases? Well, what I'm talking about is most direct sales companies, you've got to sell a set thing, mostly put somebody on auto ship for a short period of time or a long period of time, but that's how you generate your revenue. Here, your customers are just going to swipe their card because of the value proposition that Tranzact Card brings to them with their Z-Bucks and doubling their buying power. And when you start getting those type of revenues available for a revenue plan, it becomes extraordinarily powerful. And every time I jump on the call now, sometimes I just have to stay away because I get emotional and I don't want to start crying on y'all. Not, oh, you're going to kid me. Well, you're going to cry anyway, and I probably will. But
If
at
you
the
don't
end of the
cry,
day,
I'm going to be disappointed. Come on, bro.
at the end of the day, you guys are everything to me, and I love the fact that you guys are building large, successful businesses for yourself. But at the end of the day, if we get the spirit of giving and we look at this as a give, not a sell, this is going to change the world one swipe at a time for sure. My wife asked me one time, I got fired, and it was within a week after I got fired. I was a young man. I was in my early 20s, and I got let go. And she asked me, "What are you going to do with your life?" And I said, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to get another job." And she goes, "No, what's your slice of the American pie?" I immediately said right back to her, "I just want to make the pie bigger." The pie, the community revenue bonus is my pie to the world. And it's the ability to actually take redemptions, some of the swipes. When I say redemptions, I'm talking about anything bought in the Z Club. And instead of having a hierarchy, and this type of structure is in everything. It's in direct sales. It's in every business model there is. It's in every church. It's in every organization. How do you flatten that from a money standpoint? And we just created this pie where how do you draw down $500 a month when you only have 3 people? That doesn't make any sense to anybody. Well, you're not doing it from your own efforts. You're in business for yourself, but definitely not by yourself. Here at the Tranzact Card ecosystem, you're drawing off the organization. Eric's at the top of this, and you're sharing in some of his pie. And Eric doesn't care. I mean, if the pie's big enough, the slice that he's going to get, he's only going to be able to eat as much as he can eat, and he's going to be plenty full. So we've decided to create a revenue plan that creates the ability for somebody to do a little bit of effort and get something that they never ever thought they'd ever get before. And that's where the revenue, the 3 pillars of the revenues, the grants, the commissions, and the bonuses all come into play to make something that you can conceive, believe, and you can go achieve. At the end of the day, and as we come out of this, and Z Club's up and are operating, and the app is working flawlessly, and the bank account's working great, and people are flying through KYC. I mean, everybody on here that's been here long enough, Liz and Steve Campbell and Colette and Eric, we've had our issues with all kinds of stuff, even getting people through KYC. Everything's going to get much better and much more appropriate as we go forward. This is something that you can rely on. And your biggest sell is selling yourself on yourself and selling other people on themselves. And I've said it a couple of times. I'm very dyslexic. Most people, how does a dyslexic person that's only read one book in his life form companies? Well, I just do it. And I do it, and I do it, and I do it, and I do it. And I tell you that not to brag and say I'm something special. I'm telling you that because I have a weakness. I mean, Beth Barbie's heart, she's constantly coming in and reading me long